And that blood that would be required would be the blood of Mashiyach. Because death was required because it was broken, because he swore the oath, now he gives his life. That's why he said, take ye what? For this is my body, for what? Broken for you. He said, take you and drink ye all of it, for this is my what? This is my blood, which was shed for what? The new covenant, a renewed covenant. He said, this is my blood, which is shed for what? The new covenant, or which should be correctly called the renewed covenant. And so when he gave up the ghost, or before he gave up the ghost, he said, it is finished. The blood that was required for Israel to be reunited and come back into covenant, come back into covenant relationship with the Father, it was shed. And that's why it's so important to know what happened. That's why last week we emphasized on how when he spoke of the book of the covenant being placed in the side of the ark, he said, let it be a testimony and a witness against Israel. And he said, let what? The heavens and the earth bear witness. That's why no sooner that he gave up the ghost, once his blood was shed, the heavens and the earth bear witness to the covenant, just like he said. That automatically was the sign to let them know that this should have been a sign to let them know this is the man whom we were looking for, or we should have known that was coming, because it was already written. That's why what we say happened when he gave up the ghost. There was a total eclipse by way of a blood moon. That's the heavens bear witness. And at the very same time, at the exact same time, what took place? An earthquake. That's the heavens and the earth bearing witness. Right. But what were the heaven and the earth bearing witness to? The book of the covenant, not the book of the law.
So let me ask you a question. So did that take us off from under the law and put us back under the covenant? Or is there a difference now?
Okay, you said, did that take us from under the law?
Right,
and put us under the covenant?
Back under the covenant where we originally were?
Well, that's exactly what it did, but that's why when I did that lesson about the book of the law versus the book of the covenant, or the book of the covenant versus the book of the law, the book of the law is not a bad thing. Right. So we don't want to ever project or put out an understanding or a teaching that kind of projects that. You have to remember, the nation of Yashra'al has always been a community people. They've always had a community. So wherever you are whenever and wherever you are a communal people, there's something that has to be in place to govern people. You cannot have a body of people together and not have something to govern them by. So when we look at the book of the covenant, we have to do what we call, in English, when we would do certain essays and write papers, especially when it came to comparison and contrast, you have to do something called juxtaposing, where you look at one body of work and compare it to another body of work. And you pick out choose the similarities and the differences. So when we're looking at the body of the book of the covenant versus the book of the law, we automatically know, because of our posture and position where we are today, as a people usurped and governed by another people whose laws usurp the laws of Yahuah, because you're in the captivity of those people. Right. So, when we look at the book of the covenant, we see 10 commandments that are what? Affiliated with that. But when we go to the book of the law, Can we not also find those same 10 commandments? But with those 10 commandments, you have even more legislation. So if the 10 commandments says thou shalt not kill, and you do, and you go look at the judgments, or the statutes first, then the judgments behind kill, and one of those judgments is what? For you to put a person to death.
Right.
Because you're in the land of your captivity, guess what? Does that law stand for you even though you're Israel?
No.
Why?
Because their law is against that law.
Because Caesar laws usurp Yahuah laws in Caesar's land.
Right.
So you see why juxtaposing is so important. So now which one can you really abide by? There's no problem with the Book of the Covenant, 10 Commandments.
Right.
But because of what we are, you'll run into all kind of obstacles and problems trying to observe what is written in the book of the law and the judgments behind it. But what we can do, we have to be able to pick and choose what applies now because of what we are. I guarantee you, when we're in our land under Yahuah's rule, there's nothing in the law that you would have a problem with. Because there's no outside interference. And there's nobody else's law usurping the laws of Yahuah. That's why it's so important. That's why we never tell people that the law is done away with and all that. The law isn't going anywhere. But we have to use intelligence and be able to rightfully divide and know where we stand. It's impossible for any of us in here to say we keep the law to the fullest. Most of us, they have a wife or daughters. Do you not know because they have what is called a needle or a cycle, that none of us will be able to come in here and have Shabbat? Because if they're on that cycle, anything they touch becomes unclean. And if you touch it, guess what? You're unclean as well.
Right.
There's so much in there that we will never be able to do. If we were in our own land, we could do it because you know what? When Israel was in their land, they had places set up for our women and daughters that they would go and reside until after that period was over, or that cycle was over. And there was someone to what? Take care of them and provide for them while they were there. Now, if you have 2 bots or 2 Ishas or 2 Akoti or whatever, let's say if they all were on their need at the same time, would they be making each other unclean? No, they wouldn't.
If they were out at the... Oh, no.
Mm-mm. Because they're all in the same condition already, so they can do things for each other.
That's good.
So we were set up for that, but not here. It's hard to have a separate and a place for your Isha, your box to abode. But we can hardly afford one roof with all of us under together, let alone have another separate place. So that certain things is difficult to do because of what we are. That's why you have to be able to look at the body of the law and juxtapose to see what we would call, I like the term Moreh Kasad used, that we use sometimes called dovetailing. See how you can take the book of the covenant and you dovetail it with the book of the law to see what works with it and what doesn't work at this time. Because there were so many laws and stuff that they didn't deal with you. If you weren't a Levite, there were certain laws that didn't pertain to you. It only pertained to the Kohanim because they were the priests. Go ahead.
More Kasalabah said the scripture, Psalms 137, 1-4. I was reading that up. But it says, by the rivers of Babylon they were set down, yea, we wept when we remembered Zion. beheaded our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof. For there they that carried us away captive required us a song, and they that wasted us required us a mirth, saying, Sing us one of the songs of Zion.
Sing us one of the songs of Zion. Watch their response.
How shall we sing Yahuah's song in a strange land?
How shall we sing Yahuah's song in a strange land? Go back to everything that I'm saying. There's a lot of things because you're in a strange land you cannot do. Because in that strange land, they have laws that usurp the laws of who? Yahuah. And everybody, let me tell y'all something, and I like that because it's so crazy that you have all these nations of people who want to go in the kingdom of heaven. Right now, they don't want to abide by the law, statutes, and commandments. They have a problem. They say it's done away with. Now, all of a sudden, when Israel, who these law, statutes, and commandments were given to, going to go into the kingdom of Shamayim, or heaven, and they're going to have to abide by what? The same law, statutes, and commandments. Now, all of a sudden, they're not going to have a problem with it. So they think. That's great. I don't know what they thought was going to govern the people of Israel in their land. That's total madness. So we see this, and I hope everyone got some understanding today in this lesson, but I wanted to continue that to show all of these things, how they pertain to the nation of Yashra'al. And to show that from Genesis moving all the way through, this book tells a story. And the story it tells is a tumultuous relationship and the unconditional love that a groom has for his disobedient, idolatrous, whorish bride. His love was just unwavering and unconditional, and it shows all the many acts that he went through to prove his love to her and to show his love to her. So, with that being said, we were going to say Shabbat Shalom to everyone, Shabbat Shalom, and we will pick back up next week and continue this lesson. We're probably going to go about 3 more weeks with this lesson. So we're going to cover everything to make sure our listening and viewing audience have a good understanding of what it is and what they're reading when they pick up the Bible, which is correctly called the Hebrew Scriptures. So we're going to do that, and so we're probably going to have 3 more parts to this, and we should wrap it up. And then we're going to go and deal with probably heirs and joint heirs, because that's another topic that got people all thrown off and got them acting silly. We're going to find out who these heirs and joint heirs are and what it is that they're being joined to. Hallelujah, and Shabbat Shalom, and Shabbat Shalom until next time.
Shabbat Shalom.